Hello, welcome to Tabletop CP. Tonight we'll be playing a game of sharp practice in a new scenario called Withdrawal to Philadelphia. Before we begin tonight's briefing, I just want to show off some of this new terrain I've been working on. So first of all, I got fences, about 12 feet worth of snake fencing now. I got a little tired of proxying that World War II fencing, and I needed something that looked more period specific, so I built these out of matchsticks and popsicle sticks. And I'm happy with how they came out. So I got 4 more feet left to build, or to paint I should say. I pretty much built it already, but by then I'll have 16 feet. And I think that'll be enough, but as always with fences, it's never enough. I've also got this church, and I got this little farmhouse over here. These are both Rendera, as well as this barn, which I've had for quite some time, but all these are part of the same, I guess, collection of early North American buildings by Rendera. They do seem a little bit smaller, maybe 20 millimeter, but they look fine. I'm happy with them. I got some actual sharp practice terrain now, so we'll go ahead and do the briefing. Withdrawal to Philadelphia. So this mission is a mix of Scenario 3, Defense in Depth, and Scenario 4, Escort Duty from the rulebook. And again, this is a test playthrough and of a mission that I hope to one day use in a future campaign. And as always, the rules may change on the fly depending on how the game feels, or if it seems unbalanced, I can change the rules during the game. So that's just a way to try to keep it entertaining and fair to both sides, as I pretty much just came up with these scenario rules during the week, and I've never actually had a chance to play test them. Continental briefing. Spies have informed Captain Russell that the British plan on evacuating Philadelphia in the next couple of weeks. As part of this move, they are recalling all the supplies and men from the outposts in the surrounding area to the city. One such outpost happens to have a large quantity of gunpowder, something Captain Russell's men are in desperate need of. The enemy force escorting the wagon and supplies from the outpost is reportedly quite large, consisting of both redcoats and Hessians, and possibly a cannon. Captain Russell knows it will take more than a handful of light infantry to rout the British force and capture the wagon. Without hesitation, he orders skirmishers to set up a blocking position to delay the British column until he can arrive with the main force. We'll talk about the deployment real quick. So this is going to be the continental side, and this is going to use the Defense in Depth deployment setup. So we have a 12-inch deployment zone in the back, which is going to be the main deployment area, and we're going to have another 12-inch deployment zone about 3 feet up, and this will be the secondary deployment area. The Continental Force will place one primary deployment point in the rear deployment area on the road, so right here, and one movable deployment point in the forward zone, which is the one up about halfway up the table. They may then place any secondary deployment points off of the primary deployment point. So if the Continental player buys a movable deployment point or a secondary primary deployment point, it'll be placed off of this deployment point here. The Continental Force may start the game deploying only 2 units of skirmishers in the forward deployment band. These forces represent the advance element sent out by Captain Russell to delay the British force. These will be the only Continental units available to delay the British force until turn 5. And that's the one thing I might change during the game depending on how it looks. If the British are making too much headway, we can have the British or the Continentals come in earlier, possibly. So the main force will deploy from the primary deployment point and any secondary deployment points in the rear deployment zone. The Continentals can speed up the arrival of their main force if one of the skirmish groups blocking the British advance returns to the main deployment point to guide the main force in. If they choose to do this, the main force may begin deploying as soon as skirmishers contact the primary deployment point. So the idea behind this would be he's going to have the 2 groups of skirmishers up here trying to slow down the British advance. So he can sit here and try to fight it out with my entire force, or he could withdraw one of the 2 groups back to the main deployment point, and that will speed up the arrival of the rest of the Continental Force. Continental objective. The Continentals must prevent the British from reaching Philadelphia and capture the gunpowder wagon. If they drive the British force from the table, the British will abandon the wagon and leave it for the Continentals and achieve a major victory. If they simply prevent the British from making it to Philadelphia, the British will keep the wagon and find another way around, resulting in a minor victory for the Continentals. British briefing. Captain Gage has been ordered by his superiors to move his men and supplies in the area back to Philadelphia for evacuation to New York. He promptly issues the order to all of his men. Lieutenant Argyle, commanding one of the outposts, readies his men and supplies for movement. He looks forward to leaving this backwater and reaching the city for a fresh uniform, a bed, and a stiff drink. British deployment. The British main force starts on the road. This includes all the formations in both wagons. The cannon must start the game limbered with the crew walking alongside. The British skirmishers can start 12 inches from the road, and once deployed, the entire British force takes D3 free moves. So that is from the escort mission part of the equation here. British objective. The British force must move the gunpowder wagon to Philadelphia, which is off the enemy table edge, as well as capture the rebel main deployment point, thus securing the road to Philadelphia for following troops. Doing both will result in a major victory. Any other outcome will be a British defeat. So the British, they're going to have to line up all their formations on the road, plus the wagons, and any of their skirmishers can deploy 12 inches from the center of the road here. So that is it for the briefing. Now we will take a look at the forces. We start with the British force. So in overall command, we have Lieutenant Archibald Argyle. He's a level 2 leader in charge of a group of 2 redcoats. This is 1778, so they have sharp practice, and that's it. And he is assisted by his sergeant, and that is John Knox, level 1 leader. Moving along, we have 2 new, well, I'll start with this one first. So we got my Hessians that I just got done painting. So here they are. Hessian Grenadiers, and they are commanded by Captain Jens Kopke. So Jens is one of our patrons. He's actually from Germany, so he was more than happy to take command of some Hessians, even though he is not a Hessian that I know of. So yeah, we got Jens, and he is level 2, and he is assisted by Sergeant Bjorn Pfister, P-H-I-S-T-E-R. He's level 1, just helping out Jens. Moving up here, we have another group of Hessians. Keep wanting to say Prussians, it's Hessians. This is a group of Jaegers, so these are rifle-armed light infantry, something the British force has been lacking. And in command is another patron, Lieutenant Niels Westermann, and he is also not a Hessian. So, but in this game, he's commanding the Hessians. So we got those guys. So next we have Lieutenant Dan Klein, yet another patron. So we got 3 patrons over here on the British side, and Dan, as usual, is commanding his light infantrymen. And Dan has quite a colorful career so far in sharp practice, and hopefully these 2 guys are going to get some good stories to tell as well. So moving on, we have the cannon. So this cannon must start limbered on the road, and is commanded by Sergeant Joseph Murray. He's a level 1 leader. And finally we have the cart full of gunpowder. So this is going to be the primary objective for the Continentals. Rules wise, the Hessians, the Grenadiers, they do not have sharp practice. They are aggressive, however. They have crashing volley 2, drill 2, and they cannot step out. So the lack of sharp practice kind of sucks, but we just started using it really, so maybe it won't be that big of a deal. And that is it for the British force, light cannon. I don't know if I mentioned that. So now we'll go ahead and take a look at the Continentals. Here we have Captain Russell's force. So starting off, Captain Russell, he is a level 3 leader, and he's also one of our patrons. And he's going to be in charge of 3 groups of Continental line. These are 1778 and on, so they just have sharp practice. 2 flags for crashing volley, step out, drill. Assisting him is going to be Samuel Martin, Sergeant Samuel Martin. Just keep the men in order. And then we have leader 3 is Solomon Montrose, in charge of 2 groups of militia. And he is level 2. Assisting him is Sergeant Benjamin Adams, level 1 leader. So these militia, they have no bayonets. That's really the only rule they're going to have. They're also limited on other things, such as they cannot do a controlled volley aside from their first volley. And that is it. So moving on, we have Captain Robert Wodsworth. He's going to be a level 2 leader in this one. He's quite the well-known hero in these parts, so he's been boosted up to a level 2 leader in this game. He's leading his rangers. These guys are armed with rifles. They have tomahawks, bayonets. I mean, not bayonets. Tomahawks, movable deployment point, aggressive, and sharp practice. And then we have 2 groups of light infantry. So these are going to be 2 new leaders. The old leaders were Billy Smith, and he will be replaced by his brother Jeff Smith from the Welsh Valleys. He's moved into the North America to try to make a name for himself. So Jeff is one of our new patrons, and he is elected to become the commander of one of these American light infantry forces. And over here, poor old Lieutenant was Johnny Walker, has been removed from his duties. He's been drinking too heavily, and he's been replaced by Sergeant Greg Padilla. So Greg is another one of our patrons. We got 6 patrons total in this battle. Pretty cool to have that many guys that we can keep track of during the games and when we play a campaign. So again, thanks to these guys, and thanks to all the patrons that we have who are making all these upgrades and stuff possible. I really appreciate it. So anyway, that is it. Same normal stuff with the light infantry, muskets, aggressive, tomahawks, movable deployment point, so on and so forth. And that is it for the forces. So once Andre gets here, I'll brief him on the mission. I'm going to be the British because I want to play the Hessians, since this will be their first time on the board. And Andre will be the blocking force of Continentals trying to capture the wagon. Real quick before I begin, I should probably go over the terrain. It's very simple. Everything is soft cover, and the woods here, the woods in the corner, 4-inch visibility, 6-inch visibility in the orchard. So that is it for the terrain. And also real quick before we go any further, I want to thank my friend Scott Driscoll from Australia. He sent me all these Hessians. I guess he said he had more Hessians than there were actually Hessians in North America, so he sent me a few. And I finally got around to building them, so thanks Scott for that. And Scott also has his own YouTube channel, Check Your Leader TV. He's done a pretty epic sharp practice battle report on there, as well as chain of command. So give that a look if you're looking for more lardy battle reports. Alright, so Andre's here. He's been briefed on his mission. I've taken my free moves. I got 2 free moves, and I was able to get pretty damn far up the board. Except for the Jaegers and Vestermen have kind of fallen a little bit behind, but it's okay.
Yeah, you're still halfway across the board.
Yeah, and then for my support, I got 6. Andre got half of that. I brought the colors. I brought Brian Farron's for my medic, and then the Voodoo Priestess is my holy man. And on this side, Andre, he brought a musician and a fixed secondary deployment point.
And I'm actually kind of glad you don't have more canisters, so.
Yeah, well, I got 3.
Yeah, well,
so I guess
they're all gonna miss.
We're ready. Oh, and his deployment point for the middle zone is that cow there. So let's begin, Andre.
That was pretty undramatic.
Yeah.
Kickoff there, Travis. Blue 6.
All right, so blue 6. That's Jeff Smith, our new light infantry leader here, and he's going to do something either brave or foolish. He's deploying right there.
Maybe both.
He's going to fire directly into Argyle's group, who is in column. So anything but, basically.
Anything but.
In 7s.
Oh.
7 shots. 2 butts.
That was 1 too many.
All right, how many you got in there? 5.
5.
So 3 onto Argyle's group. So dead and 2 shock.
4 shock.
4 shock.
Double shocking column.
Nothing on the front.
Oh, wow.
So we'll see if it's Argyle. It's not. All right, so a dead and a shock on that back group there, Andre. And go ahead and pull another, or dead and 2 shock, I'm sorry. So pull another die here.
No, seriously, isn't it double shock in column?
No, it's +1 to hit. That's why you're hit. Well, you would have hit on anything but anyway, but because you're within 12, so. Yeah, it's not double shock in column. It's double shock if you're on the flank.
You mean I've already totally screwed this game up?
Oh, you thought you were getting double shock to that?
Yes.
All right, we're going to give Andre a redo since for some reason he thought he got double shock if I'm in column. So we're going to let him redo it. We'll just have him fall back and he's going to roll again. Do you want to roll again or keep your last roll?
Oh, well. You can even call. I'll let you call that one.
I guess I probably should get to call that one. So I've decided just to keep the roll. So I took 2 shock in this bad group and took 1 kill. So next card, please. Whew. And Andre is now back here, not within fisticuffs range.
Not stupid distance getting annihilated. Oh man, 4.
Red 4. That is Bjorn Fister.
Okay.
That's the sergeant of the Hessians.
Bjorn.
Bjorn, yes. That's this dude here. So next card.
Oh, he's not going to do anything?
No. He's going to remove his shock.
You could move up.
By himself? He's a sergeant.
Oh. Well, give him a flag.
Okay.
And another flag.
Yeah.
And
Another flag.
a blue 5.
That's Wodsworth.
Ooh.
So Andre brought Wodsworth in 18 inches off of this deployment zone here. And he's going to fire needing 3s into Argyle's column. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Whew.
So 2 on the front group. A dead and a shock. 2 on the back group. A dead and a shock. Check the leader. No. So a dead each and a shock each. So not too bad. You've gotten 4 shock and 3 dead already, which is pretty good. Wadsworth is half reloaded, and we move on to the next card. Another flag, eh?
3 flags up. What do you think, Travis?
Keep going, man. Keep going.
A lot of cards in there.
Yeah, you probably pull the Tiffin, though, of course.
7.
Red 7. That's Greg Padilla. I'm sorry. Greg Padilla's, that's my cannon. He's going to unlimber. All right, so Murray, he just unlimbered. I took the horses off just for simplicity's sake, and then he unlimbered with 1 action, half loaded. Something.
Blue flag.
Okay. 2, that's Sam Martin. I'm sorry, man, I got that wrong here. So that's Knox. That's my sergeant here. He's going to take a shock off.
Off these guys.
Hell yeah. And let me think about it. I got 3 flags left here. The 3 flags, I'm going to activate Argyle. He took a shock off. And then he's activated just the front group. I'm going to break them up so I don't block my cannon by snapping in here. And he's going to fire as a group onto Jeff Smith. So first fire, but long range, needing 5s because I can't do a control volley as a single group. 1, 2. 2 hits.
Wow.
Come on, baby.
Wow.
As long as I get a shock, I'll be happy. Yes, 2 shock. That'll be that's quite good. And we'll move on to the next card.
All right, and we have a blue 3.
Montrose can do nothing. Can't come in until turn 5, right?
Oh, so I'm drawing dead.
Pretty much.
What do you mean, pretty much?
Well, yeah, yes, you are. He brought in both.
So,
Red 6, Lieutenant Dan. Lieutenant Dan moved his men up only 3 inches on 2d6, which is kind of crap. And then he's going to fire. We got to put more pressure on Smith. See if I can get some more shock on him and neutralize him. So, first fire, light infantry, so 4s. Is that what I said? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nice.
Oh my.
Light cover for Smith. Oh man, only just a dead.
Just a dead.
Check your leader though. It might be Smith. Oh, it is. It's Smith. Oh God. He takes a wound. So roll the back. Oh, we never rolled our force morale. Let's roll our force morale real quick. All right. So you're at 11. I think I'm at a 10. And check leader. Bad thing for leader wounded. That's probably nothing for level 1, but he is down to level 0, which means he can only activate now on a flag.
Hey, good thing I got a flag.
Yeah, next card,
Where is
please.
that, Tiffin?
Yeah, nothing. That's Russell. He's just moving into position slowly, just taking their time, coming down the road.
Oh,
Oh, I already activated him.
nice.
I had to.
5.
Red 5, that's Nils Vesterman. That's my Jaegers. So Vesterman just advanced with all of his moves and got an 11-inch move. Another flag. That's it for me for flags. And Andre's basically pulling for nothing at this point. I think unless he gets 4 flags. 3, that's Jens Kopke. That's my Grenadier leader. So Kopke has just moved his boys up and still in open column there. Uh-oh.
Well.
Come on, Tiffin.
well. Oh! 4 flags.
Andre activated Wodsworth at the 4, and they ran off the board. Or not, okay. They fell back, and they're going to find Captain Russell, and they're going to guide them in and speed up the process. So now Andre can start deploying everyone pretty much on the next turn.
Are they coming back in half unloaded?
Yes. They don't have time to reload. They're going to find the captain.
If they're off the board and I don't pull their card, they're reloading while they're off the board.
Wow, Tiffin. Is a Tiffin in there?
I don't know, but we got
1 left.
Oh, we did not pull.
Blue 7. Oh,
Everything else hit the board.
All right, so on to the next turn. All right, go ahead, Andre.
All right, here we go. Phase 2.
Come on, red.
Red flag.
All right. Good start.
Red 4.
That is Bjorn Fister. He can't do anything. He's a sergeant in the Grenadier sergeant.
Alrighty.
Another flag.
Oh, it's
Another
gonna
flag.
It's gonna be one of these. 3 reds.
Yeah, I'm not going to do anything.
Okay.
There we go.
Oh, so is that a good enough start for you, Travis?
I'll take it.
Have I spotted you enough?
Yes. So this, so I activated Argyle. He moved them over 1d6 and refaced with the second action. He also had the cannon move up and half unload. Yeah.
I'm not sure Travis paid for that action, but
How do you unload a cannon? I guess there's probably some device or something you can stick down there.
usually you fire it. But honestly, half unloading would probably take longer than finishing loading and firing it. But
Yeah, probably. Another flag. Is that 4 flags?
yep,
No. It is. Holy shit.
yep.
Argyle has reactivated himself. Ordered Lieutenant Dan up. He also ordered Sergeant Knox's group up, but they didn't quite make it. If they would have made it closer, I would have snapped them in, but they didn't get a very good move. So next card. Blue 1, so you can bring in your main man.
Oh wow,
Yeah, because your guys got off the table.
wow.
Yeah, so you can bring in something now.
It's good to get off on turn 1, isn't it?
Yeah, because now you're able to bring stuff in immediately. That's what those 4 flags did for you. Russell has come in. He didn't waste any time. Came in off the movable, just ran straight up here, and he's going to do some shooting. But first, he's going to activate Smith, who's going to fire at the other sergeant's group. So 2 hits. And there's on those 2 guys. Oh, no, they're dead in a shock. It's not the leader, though. Thank God. It would have been my sergeant. Okay, so now he's going to get 27 shots with that formation. And it's going to hit all 3 of these groups here. So do you have 27 dice ready to go? Okay. I might want to do halfers for this one. There's a lot of dice to put into one little tray here. So needing 4s because first fire, controlled volley. So what do we got?
Let's just pull them.
Okay. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 9.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. This might be it. The game might be over at this point. I was just telling Andre, I make these scenarios and I need to start thinking about Andre when I make them because he never does kind of how I envision it playing out. Andre will find the most obscure way to play it and You got one more here.
Oh, the force count?
Yeah, force.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so yeah, Andre will find some thing that I didn't even think about. Like, I did not expect someone to get off the board in the very first turn.
Neither did I.
But it was because of that 4 flag. So I got 3 groups
13.
there. I got 3 groups there. Where do you want the extra one?
On your...
The main man, all right. So a dead, 2 shock on the leader. We'll do the group next to him.
Nothing.
Shock.
Oh, a shock.
And then the cannon. Come on, cannon. 2 shock. 3 shock on the cannon. So 3 shock on the cannon, a shock on the middle group, and 1 dead and 2 shock on the main guy's group there. Next card, Andre.
Right.
So I'm in big trouble. I'm totally disorganized, not even in formation. I've already taken a volley. That's my cannon.
But you are 7-1 on cards.
I am. So that's Murray. So
Level
should I
1?
move? I got a 3 shock on me though. Yeah, he's level 1. Or should I just load? I guess I better just load the cannon. How far? We're 24, right? We're not within canister range, sadly.
I hope not. That would have been a
How far are we?
We're close.
So all I got to do is move back.
21.
So I just got to move back 3 inches.
Yeah.
I'm going to move back. So he's going to move back. Okay, so we'll move back 7. And since I'm moving away from you, I don't reduce movement for the shock. So
Okay.
I'll move back 7. Next card.
You forgot a dude.
So I was able to get at least out of range of the big formation there.
Flag.
Come on, Tiffin.
Oh!
You know, I got a lot of cards, but I feel like I got my ass kicked that turn.
Well, if I was going to pull just one,
That's the right one.
was the one to pull.
All right, well, next card then, I guess, or next turn.
All right. Here we go.
Okay. Come on, 1. Red 1, I need a red 1. I need Argyle.
Red 1.
That's your sergeant.
You'll pretend to take a shock off.
Okay.
You'll pull a flag.
All right.
And
Tiffin.
Tiffin.
Oh, man.
Me first.
Why is that?
Because I got a higher force morale.
Okay, go ahead.
Aren't you at 10?
Yeah, I'm at 10.
Okay.
And you're still at 11 because you didn't lose anything for getting Smith getting wounded. So next turn, Andre.
Okay.
So I was Andre reloaded and presented these guys, and I was able to get Argyle's group into the church because we got to get out of that arc. So come on, red 2. It's not a red 2.
It is not. It's not even close.
It's not a red 2.
But we are 1 flag away from something interesting.
Oh God.
No.
That's the last thing I need. Step in something. Red 5. Nils Vesterman. That's these guys here.
All right.
Nils just moved over. Didn't get a very good move. Only 6 on 3d6. Which is crap. That's
Red
Murray. So
7.
Murray's just going to turn around. And then he's going to half load.
Half loaded.
Actually, do I have a flag? No, no flags. Yeah. Okay. He'll just turn around half load. That's all I can really do at this point. Oh God.
And there it is.
Yeah, I'm screwed. So Sergeant Knox's formation is pretty much toast. Because he's going to take 27 shots. 27 shots, needing 5s. Because you already fired once.
I got
Still quite a few.
4 1s, a 2. Oh, 4s don't make it anymore. Bummer.
6 hits, needing 5s. And that's only on half the dice. Alright, so the rest of the
There's
dice.
6.
Yeah, I'll put a counter out here. 6.
7, 8, 9.
9 hits. 2, 4, 6, 7. I'll just roll 7 here. Alright, in the open. 1, 2, 3 shock.
Wow.
Then 2 more. 4 shock out of all that. So I'm at 7.
Wow.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they're going to fall back involuntarily, which might actually help them a little bit.
Yeah, I think so. So that's just 1 inch though, right? 'Cause it's 1
yes. And I do have to roll a bad thing. -1. So I'm down to 9. But I do fall back an inch. So next card. Man, I might get out of this yet if I can get a red 2. No.
Blue 6.
Blue 6 is Jeff Smith. He's wounded.
He's
so he
he's busy.
he's nursing
He's
his
licking
wounds.
his wounds. Red on the flag. 3.
That's Montrose. That is your militia guy. Montrose has come in over there in column off the road. We made a on-the-fly rules change because we took away the extra 6-inch deployment that the defender, quote, would get. We were talking and we've decided Andre's not really defending. I mean, he is sort of, but he's not occupying. He's moving up into position. So
I didn't.
getting to deploy 12 inches from 12 inches, that's, you're up 24 inches up.
When you told me I could do that, it's like, sweet. I don't really get why, but
Yeah.
okay.
Well, in my head, I'm thinking, okay, I'm doing the, get off the table,
Yeah.
defense in depth, and there is a defender in that. So I was just thinking, okay, you're the defender, but this is more of a meeting engagement than anything.
I'm not defending.
All right, so that's one change we're going to make is no more extra 6 inch for defending for the Continentals. So.
Okay, so still.
But he is going to do sharp practice here on these guys with his 2 flags, and he is presented. Or he's still firing control volleys. Because
But I'm
he
not.
fired one last time.
But I'm no longer presented, am I?
Yeah, but if you do sharp practice.
Oh, I present and fire.
You get to stay firing whatever you were firing before. So you still get to fire control volley.
Okay.
Because you
But am I presented?
Yeah, you're the same.
Okay.
So you're still needing 5s.
2, 4, 6, 7.
Okay. Yeah, that him being able to deploy an extra 6 off this wherever that jump off point. Or it was right here, I think. He moved it over there, but I think it was right about here. Allowed him actually to get. He could have actually gone farther than that if he wanted to.
I could have.
Quite a bit further.
I was trying not to get too far out there. Needing 5s.
Yeah.
4 more.
So this, well, we'll see if we can survive this one.
11 with 6 guys.
6 guys. 1 dead. But I do get a bunch of shock here and 4 shock.
5.
5 shock, okay. But, okay, so I take 7, so I'm at 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 with...
12 with
So I think they're gonna break,
5
obviously.
guys.
So they will break. So I'll just fall back 2d6 plus 6. So 8 plus 6 back.
14.
And I'll do a bad thing happens for group breaks. 2. Alright, we'll continue.
And there's
Yeah, you'll take a shot.
hey, you're down to 11 shot.
Up to the dreaded 2 dials.
Hey,
You know when you get to that point, you're in trouble.
two more shock off there, and you'll just have 1 dial again.
That's something to shoot for.
7.
That's Padilla. That's your other group of light infantry
Dia.
off the table.
These guys out and flanking these guys.
So Padilla is just going to come over here and guard Russell's left flank from Vesterman. Blue 5. Wodsworth.
Oh.
Wodsworth has come in over there next to Montrose. He's going to fire into Lieutenant Dan. Long range, so 3 hits.
3 hits.
So 3 hits on Lieutenant Dan. Come on, Lieutenant Dan. Man, I've been losing a lot of guys. Dead in the
Yes,
shock.
you are.
It's not Lieutenant Dan, though. So Lieutenant Dan loses a man, takes a shock. Alright, here we go. Next card. It's not looking good for the British already.
Did you mention the dead in a shock?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mentioned that.
Okay.
Red 6. Lieutenant Dan.
Hey.
Would have been nice to get him the last one. Lieutenant Dan, he just moved back 2d6 and uses a lot free action and just turned back. But I did get out of range of Wadsworth.
Oh!
That's the guys in the church. Yeah, what are they gonna do? There's a back door on that church.
There is a back door.
We get out the back
Are
door.
you the back door, man?
These guys were able to get out of the church. They just moved behind to hide, basically. We're moving the wrong direction at this point. Next card, Andre. Let's see, that's your sergeant. You have no shock.
He'll pretend to remove shock again. He's getting good at
Give a
that.
pep talk. How many is that?
2.
2. What do I have left?
3, 4.
Do I have 7? No, 7
Yep.
already went.
3 and 4 is all that's still outstanding.
So that's Kopke and Pfister.
But you could use it to activate on the Tiffin, get your wagon out of Dodge.
Yeah, the wagon, yeah. Yeah, that's another thing that we never thought about. How are we going to activate the wagon? Put it in a blank chip or something, or give him a number or something. Or just have to move with someone. All right, go ahead. Another
3 flags.
Yeah, maybe I'll get a 4th one. I can fire the cannon.
Sweet.
I'm going to need everything I can get. Cannon's loaded, right? I loaded this turn. That's what I did.
3.
That's Kopke. So my Grenadiers. So Jens just, he advanced up, snapped in with his 2nd action, or command. So we got a, at least somewhat solidified front on this side. It's the other side that's in trouble.
And there's your 4th flag.
4th flag. Well, I guess I should fire the cannon. I mean, yeah, I have to fire the cannon. I gotta see if I can start doing some damage. I'm gonna use the cannon to, I'm gonna use the 4 flags to fire the cannon. Hasn't fired yet. So first fire within effective range. I have to put some shock on these guys, see if I can slow them down. Because if not, they'll just move up and fire their muskets at me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hits. So you can split them up.
2, 2, 2.
Yep. And I need some shock. I need to get some shock.
Okay, starting here and working down.
Okay. Ooh. 2 dead on your main guy.
Wow.
A shock on the middle. 1 shock. That's not going to do it.
But
All I can do is you can
was
just
it
take that out.
my man?
No.
No.
Well, that would have helped too.
You think?
Russell's down.
That would help, huh?
1 shock. Man, I needed I was hoping for 4 shock there. Because
I
he's
could've
only
seen that.
You need to move up about 4 inches to get within range with your muskets of my cannon. So, all right. Is there anything left?
Oh yeah.
Another long turn.
We got 3 more.
Okay.
My 4.
That is Ben Adams. That's your sergeant for your militia.
Tiffin and my last 2 flags. Oh no, a flag in your 4.
So everything's activated then. I don't have any flags left.
Why do I only have 3 flags?
We got
there's
2
the 4th
there.
one.
Yeah. So I guess next turn. Next turn.
All right.
Oh, my cannon's unloaded too, by the way.
Double unloaded.
Double unloaded.
But I have a red
Fire
flag.
a tap reload.
Oh, hello.
Oh, that's my main dude. Argyle.
Oh.
Yeah, you're not red. So, my leader, he moved everyone back 12. We're moving the wrong direction again. But I was able to get within 12, so I had the cannon reload, and I'm praying for 4 flags. Or a Tiffin right now would be sweet.
3.
Blue 3.
That's
Solomon Montrose.
Montrose.
Yep. Montrose has moved an open column down the road 8. Card. Switching sides of the table there.
Very tricky. And the big reveal. But now your instructions are on the other
Yeah,
side.
I gotta go all the way back over. Blue 4. That's your militia sergeant. So nothing there.
Oh, he can pull
These guys.
Oh.
Pull the shock you got from my cannon.
I don't get to pull the shock.
Red 5. Esterman. Alright. So Nils has moved over. And we're going to fire into the rear end of Jeff Smith and his light infantry. Effective range, first fire, light infantry, needing 3s. 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. Doubling shock, light cover. 1 shock. 2 shock. But you're up to 4 now, which is not good for a leader with no command. And next card. Blue 5. That is Robert Wodsworth. So Wodsworth has reloaded fully with rifle and used his free action to move up 3 inches. Next card. Red 7. Who is that? Oh, that's my cannon. So he already activated. He was activated off my leader. Red flag. I need
You're halfway there,
baby.
Halfway there, man.
Oh God.
Okay.
Captain Russell took the shock off, moved this formation up 2d6 and moved up, what, 8? Got a pretty good move. And then he ordered Smith to move that way. Still be seen by Nils, but at least I'll be shooting through the forest. So it'll get hard cover if I shoot at him. Another flag.
3 flags.
Ooh, one more. Come on, baby. Give me another red flag. Am I within canister range?
Oh, crap. Did I move up too far? Red 6.
Lieutenant Dan. Lieutenant Dan fell back 2d6, used his free action to turn back around. Come on, red flag. That's not a red flag. It's a blue 6. That's Sergeant Smith.
He'll attempt to give a command. What was he going to do?
Bleeding head wound.
I was going to do something. Ooh, 2 flags.
Do I have anything that has an act? What do I have left here? So I could activate
2, 3, 4.
Well, I got knocked, so he could take a shock off, but no point in using 3 flags. Take a shock off.
I'm looking at Sharp's practice, but
yeah,
how far out of range?
you could do sharp practice.
Oh man! Hey, look at that!
What?
They're just out of arc.
No, you're trying to get that.
Yeah, no, I mean I can literally get to right there.
It's like a juggernaut. Russell's formation moving through.
Ooh, 3 flags.
You're gonna get 4 flags.
That could be a problem.
Yeah, it'd be a big problem.
Ooh, there's your 3.
That's Jens. Okay, I gotta do something with him. Jens and his Grenadiers moved up this direction. Come on, red flag. We can do this.
Who gets the next flag?
No!
Oh!
Bummer.
So
what do we got
1,
left here?
2, 3.
All you have left is 7,
Yeah,
which is Padilla.
Padilla.
Yep, and you have... What do I have? Oh, yeah, you have 3 flags, you have a higher force morale. So Andre went first. He could activate Padilla. He did not. He's out of range of the Grenadiers, so he's just going to stand fast. Go on Overwatch.
Pretty much.
You wish. And then all I did was I moved my sergeant back 5 inches. That's all I had left to do. So.
And here we go.
Red 7.
5.
5. Nils Vesterman, he moved all 3d6 over this direction. Try and get around that, turn that flank a little bit.
There's a...
No, I need a red 7.
Actually, that's a red 7 if I pull the Tiffin.
Or another flag.
Or
there it
just the
is.
7.
All right, Andre, are we within 18? Because if we are, I'm firing
Of course
canister.
Oh!
No, not even close.
Not even close. We are 21-ish.
Okay. So despite my dreams of heroics, I figured I better get out of the way. Because even though I could fire, if I had canister, I might do it, but I would have had 1 shot. Yeah, and then he would have wheeled an inch and unloaded. And I would have been
I'm
for the
down
canister.
2 guys. I got no shock.
Yeah,
That's a harsh line to try and break.
With canister, maybe. I might have tried it.
That's Montrose.
Yes. Montrose is advanced. Didn't get a very good roll. Only made it up to there.
Damn, redcoats can run faster than we can advance.
Well, I'm supposed to be getting off that edge. 6. Jeff Smith again. He's wounded. He's incoherent. He's got a head wound.
I'm gonna command.
Are you okay, sir? Well, he's a sergeant, so never mind. He's not a sir.
What did you call me?
I work for a living.
And 2 flags.
Uh-oh. Step in something.
Now we're going to advance at the nearest.
Oh, you know what I found out, Andre?
What?
That we don't have thin red line, but you can actually do thin red line even if you can't contact.
Yeah.
If you just want to run up 3d6,
Really?
you can actually just run up 3d6. You can use it to advance.
I seem to recall asking that at one point, or we were discussing that. You know, it'd be awesome to just thin red line here, whether we can make it or not.
Well, apparently you can. So
Okay.
you roll 5.
Yeah.
Wadsworth.
Wadsworth.
What was this? Wadsworth. He just moved up. 3d6. 2. That's your sergeant.
He'll pull a shock.
Okay. I need my sergeant. He's one that needs to pull shock. He's only got 11 shock.
4.
That's Bjorn, so he's the wrong sergeant.
Wrong sergeant.
Gerfreiter.
Second flag. Sharps practice.
I don't think you're in range.
Yeah. 6.
That's Lieutenant Dan. Lieutenant Dan reloaded finally from the first turn of the game. And he's going to fire into that group there. He moved up a d6. And he's going to use his last action to fire onto that big formation. Needing 5s. 1 hit. Put it on your main dude.
Woohoo!
Nothing. Okay, well, I'm unloaded again. So that did literally nothing. Next card. It's like I cannot, just like a steamroller just coming at me. I can't
3
do
flags.
anything. 3 flags, alright.
Yeah.
I got nothing.
I hear you. And Tiffin.
Okay, so I got 3 flags, so I can do something first. I'll figure out who I have left. So after Tiffin, I move my main guy back. I got to try to regroup these guys. Andre got Russell's. They wheeled 1 inch.
2 inches.
And then they moved up 3 inches, so they're just right there. My final one, Kopke, moved up, and he's right here. Next turn. So I'm finally getting these Hessians into position. Got to do something on the flank. Oh.
Tiffin.
Oh man. So end of chapter. So everyone reloads. Any leaders that were, well, there's no leaders down. I don't think you get that back.
Oh man.
It would only be if you were knocked out, I think. Yeah, I don't think
Okay.
you recuperate. That
So all that's going to happen is Dan reloads.
Yep. And then I lose
Wow.
all my shock.
Sweet.
That would be really nice. All right, we'll move on.
Okay.
So that man, what are the odds of pulling that Tiffin first with all those cards in there?
Like about 20 to 1.
I'm sure we probably missed something, but.
5.
Wadsworth. Wadsworth's gonna fire on the cannon. Barely in range.
Oh.
3 hits. But I
Wow.
am turning the wrong direction. Sadly. So 4 shock. So I'm at 7 with 5 dudes.
6 dudes.
6 dudes. So I'll fall back
1 inch.
3 inches.
You're just 1 over, right?
No, I got 5 dudes with 7.
You got 6 dudes.
They said I had 5 dudes.
No, you said you had 5 dudes. I just told you had 6.
Okay, so yeah, fall back an inch. And take a bad thing. Nothing. So I'll fall back an inch. Those rifles, man. Long range. Look at where Wadsworth is. He's way over there. He fired with, I mean, he were literally, what, an inch in? Within an inch of the...
About 1.5 inches, and not everybody would be in range now. Let's
Right.
put it that way.
Next card. Come on, red. Something.
Red.
Mills.
5.
Finally, my rifles might be able to do something. The Mills has come around, and we're going to fire. I guess actually only one of the guys can't see, so I'll fire at Padilla's squad here. Needing 4s. 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. But you are in hard cover.
I do have that going for me. Ooh.
3 shock, yes. Good job, Nils.
Wow.
That'll help.
3 shock and hard cover is not an easy trick.
No. It's a bad roll by you, is what it is.
Yes, it was, but I did it well. All right, and blue flag. A blue 3.
Montrose. Montrose has just turned to the left face, and he's heading into the field. I'm assuming to come over here and counter Jens. So next card. Red.
There you go.
Hey, that's my sergeant. I can pull a shock.
You're down to 10.
Yes, I got off the second dial. Okay, I'm down to 1 dial, boys.
No, you're still at 2 dials. They only go up to 9.
Okay, we'll put it at 0, and that's a 10. How about that?
All right.
All right, we're at 10.
And ooh, that's a sharp practice, isn't it?
It could be.
So he could
Reload.
and fire.
No,
Or no, just reload.
Just reload. You could reload fully though, because even if you have a rifle, a sharp practice will fully reload you. So you could use it to reload. Andre's reload. He's used his sharp practice to reload Wodsworth's rifles. So, all right, red flag. Blue flag. That's 2.
And
3.
red flag.
All right, so who did the last thing? I guess Wodsworth.
Wodsworth reloading. So that was a firing action.
Yep. So roll a bad thing, or not a bad thing. A random event. Hopefully it's a bad thing.
A random bad thing.
Yes.
You got it?
Yep.
And what does the 6 do me?
We're beating them, boys. The unit inspired by the fire and removes 1 point of shock. Woohoo!
Awesome. So I'm at -1.
You're banking it. Okay, next
I
card.
like it.
I could use that over here.
When you said we're beating them, boys, I thought that was the advance 2d6 and take a firing
So
action.
did I.
I could have gone for that.
I think that's a movement thing, though. Oh, the cannon.
Yep.
All right, well, the cannon's going to have to move again. Just to get out of range of Wodsworth. Man, those rifles got some long range. All right, I'm just going to move the cannon back again. 5 inches. I just moved the cannon back. Wodsworth is just... That 36-inch range is brutal.
It is.
That's Jens, my Grenadiers. Jens is going to get his fire. We're going to fire at Padilla here. So the inaugural firing for the Hessian Grenadiers. So that's all these needing 4s, first fire, controlled volley. Here we go.
Oh, that's a lot of
1,
fives.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the 2, the control volley got me. So I'm unloaded, but I did get 10 hits on you.
All right.
Come on, shock.
I'm going to split them up amongst the guys along the fence.
Okay. Padilla. Oh, only 1 kill after all that.
No shock.
No shock. But
Well,
I did get a kill. What? Oh, whatever. A kill on a 6-man unit's not horrible. Or 7, I guess. You don't have to roll for him.
Okay.
But you did lose a man, and I am unloaded. So next card. Alright. Here we go. Blue 6. Jeff Smith. The wounded one. I'm hoping we're not missing that he gets his wound back or something when the chapter ends, but I'm not sure. I don't think so.
Is there a...
I know
At the
you
end of
rolled,
the phase, or is that I'm thinking of
if
something
he's
else?
knocked out, you roll to see if he gets up, but I don't think he actually gets his wound back unless a medic.
That
comes
would
up.
kind of make sense.
Ben Adams, that's your sergeant in
Or
your
he'll
main group there.
continue to pretend taking shock off.
Okay. 7. That's
gonna
Padilla.
be-
So he's got 3 shock, and he can do.
No,
something.
he's got 1 shock.
He's gonna take. Okay. So
He's
he'll-
a level 1.
yeah. So you can use the flag to take 2 shock off.
Yep.
Okay.
So I'm down to 1 shock.
Okay.
Red 4.
Red 4. That's Fister. That's my sergeant, and my grenadier. So they don't have anything to do for him yet.
6.
Red 6. That's Lieutenant Dan. Lieutenant Dan has moved around the church, well, sort of 3 inches on 2d6, but I did get within range of Wodsworth, so I'm gonna try to start a fight with him. So needing 5s onto Wadsworth with Lieutenant Dan. So 1 hit, but you are in soft cover. Nothing. Man, a shock would have been something.
It would have.
Of course, he's level 2, which is another thing that's going to change when we revise the rules. You've already got enough advantage. You don't need
I was going to say
2 more level 2s and 3s than I do.
All the leadership I've got over here would have been really helpful if you could have shot at me and I could be taking shock off.
Yeah. Uh-oh. That's Russell, the big man. Russell ordered, or actually took 2 shock off of these guys. He was attached to them.
Within 4.
And then he, well, even closer than that.
Yeah.
And then he moved, with his last command, he moved these guys up, and they only got a 3-inch move. So next card. We got no cards left.
Actually, could I also order them to move?
You could have, yeah.
Well, can I still?
I guess, if you want to move those other guys back 3 inches.
These. Oh, what do you mean?
Because you used your last command to move them up.
I got 3 commands.
Yeah, you used 2 to take 2 shock off those guys.
Oh.
And then 1 to move them up.
That would be all 3. Okay.
Next card, which, man, we're again going through a long turn here.
It's pretty impressive.
Another blue flag.
And a Tiffin.
So I got 2 flags left. We'll figure out who can do
I got
what.
nothing left, so it's just you.
Oh, you've activated everything? Alright, I'll
Yeah.
figure out what I have. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and concede this one. Obviously, I'm not getting off of the edge. I'm not getting to Philadelphia. Not by moving back the other way that we came. That's for one thing's for sure.
I'm not even sure you're going to get your powder back, Travis.
Technically I wouldn't, because if I leave the table, you would get the powder back. So, anyway, obviously some major issues with the design of this scenario, which Andre and I have already talked about, and I think we've kind of fine-tuned, but yeah, I was supposed to be the attacker. And I'm playing Andre, I should know he's going to always try to go on the offensive when possible. So we were talking about some changes. First of all, it's not real easy. I mean, it's not super hard, but it's not easy to make these scenarios because you have to literally think of everything. And the one thing I did not think of, and the one thing that I think that pretty much ruined this scenario, was the assigning the Continentals as the defenders, which automatically gave them an extra 6-inch deployment. And that's what led to him deploying everything out into this field and getting a volley off on me when I was still in I was a mess over
State
here.
of disarray.
Yeah, I was all over the place, and I just could never recover from that. And I never anticipated getting a volley turn 2 from the 3 group. That was never, when I was designing this, that never entered my mind that could possibly happen. But then again, I'm playing Andre, anything can happen. So that's one of the changes we're going to do is we're going to get rid of the defender designation for the Continentals. That's first and foremost. And then we were also, what else did we say we were going to do? I forgot.
Delay the, so there's either a 1-turn delay
or
change it to a -2 on the turns coming in, however you want to think about it.
Yeah, so yeah, that was what it was. So Andre was able to get Wodsworth off turn 1 because he got those 4 flags. And the rule said if he gets off, the rest of the group can appear the next turn, which is turn 2. Technically, it's supposed to be turn 5 before they show up. I was kind of more thinking maybe that might happen turn 3. So that would have gave me at least a couple more turns to arrange myself and get ready up here. But by turn 2, I was all over the place. I don't even know how to describe it.
You were a mess.
It was a mess, man. And taking the volley when your formation's in 2 and you got a cannon, I mean, that was it. The game essentially ended at that point, but we kept going. But at least having that, so we're going to say when you get off the table, there's a 1-turn grace period, or as Andre puts it, it speeds up the clock 2 turns, which pretty much is the same thing. But that'll give the British actually one turn to actually get their shit together and try to reform, because maybe they saw the guy run off and who knows, but gameplay and balance wise it would help the British. Another thing, I was trying to play the game as kind of the intent of the game, so I knew they were coming. I could have got my cannon out back here and just set it up and loaded and waited, but I was trying to actually kind of play the scenario, and I didn't know they were coming. And when you write it, you know that, so you try to kind of push past that and pretend like you don't know. So, but those are the two main things. Get rid of the defender's designation for the Continentals, and if they happen to get off the board turn one, which is just a freak earlier, right, Andre? The four
really
flags.
was. I honestly didn't. Wodsworth was not my first choice for an activation.
But actually, getting rid of the 6-inch extra would have
prevented that.
Would have prevented that too.
Yep.
So, actually, I don't know. We'll still give the one turn grace period just in case some freak thing happens. But yeah, you were able to deploy 18, which let you just run off. Being only 12 would have made it a lot harder for you to get off, which would have bought me another turn. So yeah, anyway, I like the scenario. It just needs a little tweaking, which we're going to definitely do before we do it again.
And you could still run into some issues depending on, because pretty much this entire game, we emptied the bag every time, every phase. If you had some unbalanced pulls where somebody's getting, 3 or 4 and the Tiffin comes, that could definitely throw the game way out of balance too, which if it happened right at the beginning could be difficult to.
Well, it did sort of. Remember, I got all those dice in that like turn 3 or turn 2. Not dice, but I got tons of cards out in a row.
And that probably would have really thrown it in your direction, except I pulled my 1 was.
Right.
Is what I pulled out that turn.
Yeah, and this thing was an unstoppable juggernaut. It was just, I had no way to stop it. And another thing that we were talking about is this defense in depth, or any kind of, or the escort mission, anything where you got to get off the table a long way is almost impossible. It's virtually impossible unless it's set up for the attacker to have some kind of advantage, either through terrain or maybe units. The cannon was my unit that I thought was going to be the great equalizer here. And like I was saying, I was trying to play to the scenario. So, I could have, when I first got up here on the second free move, I could have just got out with the cannon instead of moving it again. But then that would indicate that, I knew what was going to happen. I did obviously know what was going to happen, but it would have kind of ruined it because, hey, let's get the cannon out, boys. Why? We're just going to Philadelphia. Don't ask questions. But anyway, yeah, so technically I wanted to get Steve here and kind of do it like we did the last one, where neither of these guys really knew what the other person was doing. So it's one thing I've learned from doing these is that having an umpire and having the two players not know what's happening except for what they need to do really makes the scenario a lot better. But anyway, so it's kind of a dud on this one. Sorry, they can't all be great, but this is why we're playtesting it. And we don't really get enough extra play time to play test these off camera so that we can have a good game on camera. We don't get to play that often. So we take our time when we get the game. This is it. So
you're selling it a little short too. I'd like to think there, is some entertainment value to actually seeing us play test, and what are throw some comments out there. We've kind of thought of what we've thought of, but what else are we not seeing? What else could help to balance these things? And it really is difficult, and I don't think it's ever possible to really get a full balance, just because there are so many factors, and there's built-in imbalances, and I have always said I'd rather be lucky than good. Anybody can beat somebody who's good. You don't have a prayer against somebody who's lucky.
And that's been your motto for years.
And I just proved it tonight.
I wouldn't say you got Well, you did get some luck, but it was literally the extra 6-inch deployment that caused.
Yeah.
Because if not, you would have never been able to probably fire that volley to begin with, which would have bought me. That doesn't mean you wouldn't have got the first pull and got to move up and do it next time.
Yeah,
but it wouldn't have been an immediate volley.
Without the 6-inch, you'd have had another turn to regroup before I could have even.
I could have at least got into formation.
Done that. I would have been back, farther as it was happening.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, yeah, that's this one. So it's like, again, not our best game, but like I said, this is a kind of a practice game. This is what happens sometimes, and now we know. But we do know for when we play this again, there's going to be some revisions that I think will make this scenario a lot better. So anyway, thanks again to the patrons, all the guys on the table tonight. No one really had anything super exciting happen in this one, but everyone got some shooting in, and except for Padilla. I don't think he ever fired.
No, he didn't.
But he held down that flank, damn it. So
He did hold that flank, which was a big deal.
he took a shot from Jens.
He took a couple shots.
Yep.
He took a couple volleys, rallied some shock.
Yep. And he's really the only guy that didn't do much. MVP must have been Russell, obviously, in his formation, just steamrolling up the table. But anyway, yeah, thanks again, guys. Check out the Patreon page. We have some stuff on there. As for example, I have some videos on how to build these fences and other stuff. Kind of stuff that I've been doing for patrons is some behind the scenes stuff, like some tutorials, specifically these fences, but other stuff as well. And then check out our Facebook group as well. That's growing pretty big. We got a lot of really motivated and passionate hobbyers in there as well. So, anything else, Andre?
Oh, I think that's enough for one night.
All right. So we'll see you next week.